The World Rapid and Blitz Championship has started in Kazakhstan. This is a photo of the venue. In the open section, there is around 200 players playing, and there is a women's section as well. In the third round, the current Rapid World Champion, Nodirbek Abdusattorov, played against the classical world champion, Magnus Carlsen, and it was a thrilling game. It's a game you must watch. Let me take you through the game. Magnus Carlsen with white started with b3, the Nimzowitsch Larsen attack. Nodirbek played e5, bishop b2, knight out, e3, knight f6, knight f3, bishop d6. Slightly unusual move, but the sole purpose of the bishop is to come out, let the rook come to e8, and then go back to f8 as a defensive piece. Because white's bishop is a really nice piece on the diagonal. c4, gaining space, castles, d3, rook e8, a3, a5, bishop e2, and bishop f8. And Carlsen also castles. d5, striking at the center, takes. Knight d2, completing the development, and f6, killing the bishop on this diagonal. Queen c2, developing the queen. Bishop f5, rook e1, bishop g6, and here Carlsen played a move that opened the game up, that would make the game really interesting. He played g4. He did not even prepare g4 by king h1, rook g1. He just directly goes for g4. It's like he wanted revenge for the last time they played each other. Queen d7, king h1. Of course, queen takes g4 wouldn't be good because knight e5 and white gets back the pawn with a lot of play for white. So rook d8, knight e4, jumping in with his pieces king h8 and rook d1. He could directly play rook g1, but he just decides to give some support to the d3 pawn first, because black had ideas like knight b4, giving up a piece, a sacrifice. So Carlsen just brings his piece into the game on d1, and then he goes for rook g1. So Carlsen's plan is very clear. Just rook g3, rook h3, rook g1, and then use the g pawn. Pieces are already active. Lot of potential on the king side. The game becomes really interesting in the next few moves. So Nodirbek goes for queen side counterplay. Moves like a4 and then attack on the queen side. This is Nodirbek's plan. And Carlsen has to go for attack on the king side. Rook g3, a4, takes, and knight a5. The pieces are jumping in. Bishop b3 is a threat, right? Here he played rook g1, bishop d5, g5, f5, and knight c3. There is a very nice move here, knight f6, which is also very risky because the point is not very clear. The attack is a long-term thing here. Takes, and white has a nice pair of rooks, and the bishop opens up. So this is good for white, but also slightly risky to calculate and do it. So Carlsen goes for knight c3, bishop c6, and e4. Knight takes, and queen c3. Attacking the pawn, so knight defends it. Pawn g6. Here comes the attack on the king. So Nodirbek goes for knight d4, and here came a brilliant move. A beautiful move was played by Carlsen in this position. The bishop is hanging, that too with a fork. But Carlsen played the unbelievable knight g5. He is threatening knight f7. So Nodirbek went for knight takes bishop. Here, Carlsen played knight f7, but that allowed Nodirbek to come back in the game with queen takes. So basically, black has taken a piece, and when white goes here, black will get one more piece, right? And when you take back, so what happened was takes, knight takes, and pawn takes rook. So at the end of everything, the material is almost equal. It's an exchange up for white, but black has the bishop pair and an extra pawn for black as well. So white is definitely better here, but there was a better way to do it, which was also a little difficult. Instead of going for knight f7, Carlsen could have prepared knight f7 with queen c4. And this time there is no defense because knight takes, just rook takes back. White is basically a full rook down, but knight f7 is a big threat. And for example, if rook e7, You just go pawn takes, threatening queen g8. And how do you defend that? You'll have to play rook e6 and then we get the rook back. So the attack is very strong after queen c4. But Carlsen instead went for knight f7, allowing Nodirbek to come back with queen takes knight. So if you look at the material, black got a piece, black got one more piece, and white got the queen. Black got the queen, and white got the rook. And then white got the piece as well. So white's basically an exchange up. And here Nodirbek blundered. You can defend the pawn with bishop d6. That keeps things solid. But then Nodirbek played bishop g6. And here Carlsen took on f5, takes back, and then bishop takes e5. Nodirbek played bishop takes d3, unaware of what Carlsen's plan is. Can you find out the winning move for Carlsen in this position? The absolutely winning move. After which Nodirbek resigned. White to play and win. Carlsen played a very nice move here, and it's a fitting end to the whole game because it was a thrilling game and a thrilling finish. Rook takes g7. Nodirbek resigned here because the point is if bishop takes, then just rook takes back. And mate is unstoppable. If you play something like rook d5, just rook g5. You're stopping the mate, but then white is just completely winning here. Takes, and completely winning. If you don't play rook d5, then any rook move would have been mate along this diagonal. For example, if let's say rook somewhere, rook f8, let's say, then rook g3, and if it's mate, rook f6, and just checkmate. So that is why after rook g7, Nodirbek resigned, and that was a fourth round of the tournament for Carlsen, for everyone actually, and he drew the fifth round. At the end of the day, this was the final standings after day one, after 5 rounds. There are 4 players on 4.5. Carlsen drew against Arjun in the final game of the day, and there's a lot of players on 4. So an exciting day 2 awaits for the World Rapid Championship.